Hold on. No, it's preparing to live stream.
Oh, well.
Setting your YouTube. Hold on. And redirect to YouTube. We are live. Play.
Crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not.
Good morning, good afternoon, good dawn, good dusk, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Guerrilla Cricket. It's with great regret that we can't be with you in person, as it were. In the old normal, we should have been completing statistics for England versus the West Indies. Mind you, first match of the summer was due to be at the Oval.
Yes, Endo.
Sorry, I had a blank there. Can we start again?
No, we're live.
We're live. Okay. All right. We are live to bring you news of what Guerrilla Cricket is going to do in the absence of actual cricket. There are many wonderful things to be enjoyed over this summer, including the continuing podcastery of Tony Bishop, who's in your right bottom corner, Knuckle Pandy, who's in the middle on the left, and then a special little whimsical, unscripted little podcast that's erupting out of the bowels of me, not Fred, and Paul Grubby Howarth. But the most important thing is what is coming up very soon indeed. And what is coming up very soon indeed is the Broad Dickwella Trophy, or is it the Dickwella-Broad Trophy, which is basically dice cricket for a new generation. It's going to be marvelous. It's going to be exciting. There are 8 teams. There are 8 gorillas taking part, and you will be able to take part on Twitter as well. It'll be just like listening, I suppose, to a T20 in some respects. Game will be 1 innings, no restricted overs, but we tend to find that it doesn't go much longer than 15 overs a side. So without further ado, let me introduce the teams. The teams are being run by, well, 3 absent people this afternoon. We have no Paul Grubby with us. We have no Asif Nawaz, because apparently Asif Nawaz is interviewing Rashid Khan this afternoon. Oh, what? I mean, you know, he's just so full of it, isn't he? And he talked to you, Raj, last week, we hear. So he's moving in slightly different circles, but he has deigned to come on to our 8-team tournament. He will be manager of the Naughty Boy Nets 11. Tim Part, who you see in the middle on the right, as you look at your screen, doing a rather Spock-like greeting for you. He's got the Ginger Dread Men. Now, as I understand it, and based on your beard alone, you were once a ginger. Still are a ginger.
Hey, it hasn't turned quite all grey yet, but yes.
Colours and cuffs, my man.
So you will be. I wonder if there's presumably a little bit of sort of something personal going on there.
Yeah, I've had to suffer for most of my life, but now's the time to take back the power.
I think so. So you feel as if you could have this tournament under control.
Yeah, my life's been leading up to this moment.
I thought so. Mine too. Tony Bishop will be he'll be running the spectacled 11, and well, it's 11. It's a 16. We have a 16-man squad. You can swap people in and out. And we almost forgot, didn't we, Tony? We almost forgot to include the icon of bespectacled cricketers.
Well, you did, yeah. I mean, the man who has his whose glasses cloth has its own Twitter account nearly didn't make the cut, but he's in. We're expecting great things of him. Probably the odd nudge single through 4 or 5 games of the tournament. Jack Leach, of course. Who else? Well,
he's got to hold up one end for some of your other stroke makers to have a marvelous last wicket stand, I presume.
Well, very much so. Don't forget we've got Jeffrey Boycott in there. We've got Zahir Abbas. I've probably got David Steele, who will be paid in lamb chops.
Paid in lamb chops. Is that what happened? Yeah. Is that what used to happen? He used to get paid, but his butcher used to give him a lamb chop for every run.
In his benefit season, he got a lamb chop for every run during his benefit season. Okay. So we are, despite being somewhat myopic, we are absolutely stack full of exciting talent.
I was
and will
curious
be
about.
pretty hard to beat, I think.
I was curious about the myopic. I mean, myopic is kind of one-eyed. He's kind of, and we're really talking about four eyes here, aren't we?
Myopic is in fact
we are.
short-sighted.
Yeah.
Cyclopic
Yes.
is the word you're looking for.
I always thought
Henry.
it was. I was. It's always
Cyclopic.
used in. It's always used in connection with Arsene Wenger and goals. That
I
he
did not see the incident.
No, indeed. So I always take it as being sort of something that you're very one-eyed about. But fair enough. Sitting on your left or Tony's right, we have. Where are you? You look like you're in an outground there. Not Fred.
Yeah, guess the ground.
Where are you exactly?
Guess the ground.
Guess the ground.
Guess the ground.
Ooh,
Bristol.
Nope.
No.
Uxbridge.
Radlett.
No. You're all wrong. Anyway, get on with your questions, Hendo.
Taunton.
I'm not sure I've got any questions for you, apart from the fact that you have got a weird team. You've got the how the fuck did they ever play for England 11?
That's right. Yes. And if they would have been paid in lamb chops, they would have all starved to death.
They probably would have done. That's a very good point. I'm kind of thinking about there is one of your favourite players in the team, and your first name on the team sheet, I think you said,
Yes.
Ed Giddins. I mean, you go back a long way, you two, don't you?
Oh yeah, we have an interesting relationship. Yeah, it has its ups and downs.
Do you still have any sort of relationship?
Well, he does try and get in contact every so often, but there are legal restraints.
Okay, all right. Well, sitting
But
above you.
I would say though that I have picked obviously a terrible team, so
Yes.
I'm not expecting my team to do very well in this competition because it would belie their entire careers.
Yeah, well, that kind of makes them sort of dark horses, doesn't it? I kind of think if there was going to be a book run on this, and the Bear will be more expert on this as he sits in front of the IPL winners from last year. Bear, I mean, you've looked at the teams, you've run through the squads. I mean, who do you make favourites? You've got Wevo Shaughnessy, the fat lot of use team, that's mine, making a spectacle of themselves, the Ginger Dread Men, the Beardy Bastards, that's Rog, the Naughty Boy Nets from Atif, the One Test Wonders from Knackle, and obviously Fred's how
On Earth.
hell did they play for England? Do you have
Well,
some
just personally
feeling
for
about
fat boy. Well, no, fat boys, obviously. Fat boys or beardies, one or the other. For
Fat
me.
Boys and Beardy? Well,
Yeah,
you're
you know.
both, so I mean,
Exactly.
I've actually, because of the beardies, I've shaved off my beard this morning so that I am just purely fat boy, and I'm concentrating on my own men. Now, one of the most interesting teams, of course, is Knackles, because when you said to me One Test Wonders, I thought it was going to be the likes of the John Stevensons, who actually gets into Fred's useless England team. But in fact, it's a bit more than that. it's a bit more than that, Knackle, isn't it? There's something specific about these One Test Wonders.
Yeah, these are the chosen with the aid of statistical research and also looking into the stories of some of these players and why they didn't play more than one test. It's the very best One Test Wonders. So it's players who, in all cases, did very well in their one test. We've got the only two men ever to score a century in their only test, most famously Andy Gantone, who ended up with a higher test average than Don Bradman. Stuart Law, who played one test and doesn't actually have a test average. We've got Charmini Senavirat. Now, we've got a few female cricketers in here because there was a point, basically beyond about the early 2000s, there was almost only England and Australia really played any women's test cricket with any regularity. So you've got Isabel Joyce, who played an Ireland's only test, Charmini Senaviratna, who scored 100 and took a fifer in her only test, and then Sri Lanka never played a test again. She's now playing for the UAE, actually, and Mignon Dupree, who did very well for South Africa in her one test, and they haven't played a test match since. And we've got some great stories as well. We've got players who had to basically quit cricket for a little while because they were getting death threats. We've got someone who decided that going off and prospecting for gold in South Africa was more fun than playing cricket. We've got people whose careers were interrupted by the outbreak of war. And we've got the only international cricketer to star in a film with Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Who is that? Or are you going to keep that up your sleeve until we get the games underway?
Oh, no, that's quite a famous story, so I think I can reveal that. That's my skipper, Charles Aubrey Smith.
Charles Aubrey Smith.
Founder of the Hollywood Cricket Club.
And he was also the guy who went gold prospecting, isn't he?
That's right, yeah. Well, I'm not going to share all the stories now, but you'll come on. There's some very interesting characters and very interesting stories here that I'm gonna share over the course of the tournament. And yeah, I think this is quite a fun team, and I think could be a crowd pleaser.
It's also going to be a test for our jinglers. I don't know, we've got many of the names on your particular list already in our collection, but hopefully our wonderful composers and writers out there are working and beavering away as we talk. Yeah. Were you tempted, any of you, to sort of include people because of their jingle potential?
Well,
Silence.
I've got none other than the man who's quite a star of our theme tune. No Surrender,
course.
Percy Fender.
Yeah. Well, I'm expecting a lot from him.
Absolutely. Well, we are indeed.
He was probably one of the first names on our original T-shirt, wasn't he? Percy Fender. I
He was
Yeah.
indeed, yeah.
I think
just
he
that,
was.
so, yeah. Anyone that you particularly wanted in your team, Tim, for jingle purposes?
Well, I'm delighted to include O'Brien Kevin
Oh yes.
in my team. That was definitely the highlight.
Mm.
But so many.
Do you think, though, as a ginger,
Mm.
do you? I mean, I always find it a little bit disconcerting because I only really consider people ginger.
Do I
if they're-
disconcert you then?
I only really consider them ginger if they're completely orange. But you've got a variety of shades of ginger, haven't you? in your
50,
team?
50 Shades of Ginge. Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
50 shades of
Oi.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yeah, it's
But
niche.
you've just
very
got us the
niche.
explicit tag on YouTube. Well done.
In that case, has it got Rennie Russou in it? That's the question.
I remember her in Tin Cup, amongst
No, it's
other
got
films.
it's
She
got
was
Riley Rousseau instead.
Oh,
Yeah.
Riley Russou. Yeah, that's probably more to the bottom
Great
of the
jingle
box.
there. Great jingle there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right. Well, who? Why would that be, Bear? Why would that be?
Because my kids were so tuneful.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Nigel and the Family Walker.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
We were doing that around Christmas time. So
It's not
yeah,
quite the. It's not quite the Walker Brothers, but it's something along
the Walker
something along-
kids. You know.
Take
along
it
those
easy on
lines.
yourself.
Yes, indeed. Well, we shouldn't waste any more time because people will be getting really sort of frustrated because what they really tuned in for is the draw no less of this incredible tournament, and like they do on Match of the Day, doing the FA Cup third round draw. I'm going to give you some numbers. I'm going to give you some numbers to listen out for.
Have you warmed the balls?
Well, I did that. I had a bath earlier, and that did quite.
That'll do.
Well,
Yep.
that did quite well. They're in a hat. Show us the hat. Show us the hat, Knuckle. There is the magic hat.
Ah,
Look at that magic, wonderful, wide-brimmed hat. There can be absolutely no corruption in this draw whatsoever. Now, Grubby's not with us, but he is. He will be chairing the Weave O'Shaughnessy 11, which is the team that has rugs for hair and things like that. That is number one. Number two is the Fat Lot of Use team. That's mine. Number three, Tony, that's the one for you to look out for, making a spectacle of
Okay,
themselves.
thank you.
Number four is the Ginger Dreadmen. Number five, an absent Rog will be in charge of the Beardy Bastards. Number six, Naughty Boy Nets. Again, an absent Atif will be in charge of that one. The One Test Wonders are number seven. And how the fuck did they ever play for England is number eight. Now we're gonna produce these teams into two groups. This is how it's going to work. They're going to be two groups of four. It's just like an old style World Cup. And then we'll work a schedule out from that based on people's availabilities, and then we'll let you know all about that as time goes by. Now, I just think we need to have a moment of reflection and silence and just prepare for this incredible moment in guerrilla cricket's history. So I'd like you to just go deep within yourselves, focus, breathe deeply. Yeah, or not actually fall asleep. That would be helpful. So are we ready to go? The first name out of the hat in Group A, as Knuckle appears to be preparing to give birth to a small calf. It's going to be
Number one.
Number one, the Weave O'Shaughnessy come out straight away. So they're into Group A, and first out in Group B is
Number two.
it's the Fat Lot of Use team. That's an amazing. I'm a bit worried now that all these numbers are very close to each other. So we just go 3, 4, 5.
But so you have actually shuffled
Well,
these. haven't
yeah, well, there is only a 1 in 8 chance.
So that's Group A is Weave O'Shaughnessy. Group B is the Fat Lot of Use. The next entrant for Group A will be
Number four.
Oh, it's the Ginger Dreadmen getting into Group A with the Weave O'Shaughnessy's.
1, 2, 4. That's ABD's jingle, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Uh-huh.
And in Group B, who is it going to be? Oh, stir those
Number 8.
numbers around. Number 8. It's the How the Fuck Did They Play for England 11 in Group B with Fat Lot of Use. That's going to be a heavyweight match, I can tell you that. Also in Group A, we have
Number 5.
Number 5, the Beardy Bastards get into Group
Ooh.
A.
It's a hairy group.
It is. It's looking very hairy or very heavy. I think we will get groups like that. And also in Group B,
Number 6.
the Naughty Boy Nets 11 go into Group B. There's only 2 left. It's going to be very exciting. It's the One Test Wonders against making a spectacle of themselves. I can see Tony's looking very nervous indeed.
Well, I've been left behind. I must come out the hat soon.
Well, maybe not. You're like the bloke who never got picked at school, aren't you? You thought
Yeah.
you won't find him the
Thanks.
last
Last in
man.
line.
It's not like the bloke.
don't
He is
want
the
him.
bloke.
The bloke. Here we go. Out of the hat is
Number 7.
Oh, for
number
goodness sake.
7. The One Test Wonders go into Group A, and it means that you don't have to take
Okay,
the
we'll have
last man
Tony.
standing out of the hat. In Group B, it is Tony the Bishop. Well, how exciting was that, chaps? Are you
Not very,
overwhelmed?
actually.
No, it wasn't. We
You
need
better
more
read
teams.
You need to read the list.
It's not
out.
like a knockout draw, though, is it? I mean, it's
No, it's not quite the same, is it? But then,
No.
of course, we will have knockouts later in the semi-finals, just 2 knockout games. So there will be a total of 15 games in this tournament. We'll aim to do one every other day, but we've yet to quite work out the schedule. Now let's have a look. I'll just have a little look at the groupings and see what you think. Fred, you're in Group B against the Naughty Boy Nets. They're
That is-
making a spectacle of themselves, and
Who
the
was that?
Fat Lot of Use, which is me. I think you're going to struggle against the Fat Lot of Use team. I mean, in fact, that's going to be a really, really odd one, isn't it? A Fat Lot of Use against
2
how
terrible
much they play
teams.
for England. It's not
Yeah.
2 terrible teams. Well, it's not actually. My team's very, very strong. Very strong. It's got 2 very, very big men.
But they
from
don't have much
WG.
stamina.
Yeah, I suppose you could argue that, but think of the power. Think of the power.
You
Well,
haven't
they
got
struggled.
Gavin-
They struggled in the film in the field in the warm up, Hendo. You have to
Yeah,
remember.
that's true. And they did struggle when poor old IT Botham and Raheem Cornwall had to run 6 threes in a row.
We did actually have to take a drink break at that point. Just on that point, we do have a couple of duplicate players in this tournament. We have WG and Ian Botham. So massive were they in the context of the history of the game that they get to be in it twice.
Yes, they do. Unfortunately, I've been landed with the Ian Botham post 85, who's not quite as wonderful as he was before. The Botham of the Headingley years and Old Trafford has been claimed by Rog, which I think is a little bit underhand. But there you go. He's also got WG. I'm not sure how we're going to split WG and whether it's going to be his first 10 years, the next 10 years, but we'll have to see. But yes, and I have had to go through the teams taking out various players who would have made it into a number of 11s. Actually, there were quite a few. I mean, WG's just one. Botham is
Does
another
anybody
one.
want any of my players? Just make me
Well,
an
I-
offer.
I suppose we could introduce a sort of a Jeopardy where you could may swap players for someone better, but I'm not sure
A
there'll be many
transfer
takers.
window.
Yeah. If anyone's offering a cream egg for Jason Roy, I'm quite happily take that.
Well, is Jason Roy doesn't actually get into your first team, does he? He's not in
No.
your starting 11.
No, I'm
which is
hoping to bring him in later in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
He'd be quite good in this format.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know you slagged him. You slagged him off in your piece that's going on the website, but which I think I left out in the end. But anyway, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, this isn't really test match cricket, is it, Fred?
No, it's a game
No.
with the dice.
It's a game
Exactly.
of the dice. Now, the interesting thing I've discovered is there seem to be any number of different versions of Owzat out there. I saw a tweet this morning from someone saying, "Are you using the updated version, which seems to have 8 sides on its dice?" And all, I mean, I think you can have dot balls in that.
That's a newfangled version. It's not for the purists. Hendo.
No, that's
No,
absolutely
I
right.
haven't seen that.
And also, of course, the thing is, if we had dot balls, it could go on forever, couldn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest, and we can't have that. We've only got a couple of hours a day.
Quick game's a good game.
Quick game is a good game, but also, as I said, it gives the chance of our wonderful listeners out there to take part in Twitter. We'll have little breaks at the end of overs to get your tweets in. So, if you want to, can we run an unofficial book bear, or would that be against the law?
Who's going to run it? Me?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically.
We
I
could
know
have
a
a
bit
version
about
of the
basic.
GPL though, couldn't we?
Ooh,
I think
version
I-
of the GPL. Mm.
Just for the first 5 overs, and then go for the score number.
What I know of
rounds eight from
statistics,
there.
I'll
I
think
would
about
say every team is 7-1, so we'll say 8-1. everybody, just to make a little profit for the bookie.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, this is it. It's a dice game. You can be asked to work out the odds.
No clues, but
Yeah.
Don't tell people what's happening.
Definitely the GPL would work.
The GPL, yes. Well, we'll have to think about that. What I should say is that we have already decided that 3 points for a win, 2 points for a tie, and
no super overs.
No super overs. A bonus point for winning by 100 runs or 8 wickets. Ooh. You don't really look very excited about that. I thought you'd be a bit more animated by that, chaps.
It's hard to tell how Fred looks because he's just a shadow.
These things
I'm
are the
sitting
magic.
here. I'm sitting here in the rain at
you
the
know.
county ground derby.
Yeah, well, we've had the Bears' fat fingers insured for £200,000.
Exactly. These things are going to make it happen.
When I always think that probably the Bears' hands and wrists do get a workout quite often, but I would suggest.
Rolling cigarette papers.
Oh, I'm with you.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Of course, that's what I meant. For goodness sake. Oh, I didn't realise, Tony, you're in a bar called Tony's.
Yes, Hendo.
You're in a negative
I
bar.
was hoping someone might eventually notice that.
You're in a backwards bar.
After all that hard work.
Or why not? If you go backwards.
Well, that was the problem. When I actually downloaded it, it reversed itself. So I was in Enots for a while.
It says snotty, I think.
Sneeze.
It's
Enot.
It's the general C-Not.
Oh dear,
very
the
good.
bishops and the general synod. Yeah, they're very clever.
Bar in Bangkok, I believe.
Can you save that for the actual games? That would be quite handy.
I will.
So that's about it. That's what it's all about. So we will probably be aiming to get the first game underway Friday or Saturday this week, and then pretty much every other day from then on in. We will have to think about what time we're going to do it, because we want to be as useful to as many of our listeners as we can be. So we've got to find a time that brings on board people in Australia, people in America, people in India, people in frozen Arctic, Alaska, South Korea, various places like that. So we will be working on that, and then of course we will have Atif, Grubby, and that's about it, isn't it? Who else?
Roger.
And Roger, of course. If we can track down Roger, who seems to have gone missing again. So anyway, that's it from our preview show. Not much of a show really, but just something to tell you what's going on. If you keep an eye on our website as well, you will get much more detail on teams and the rationale behind the selections. So that'll be a bit of fun as well. But until tomorrow, when we will reveal all about when the schedule is going to set off, it's goodbye from all of us from Guerrilla Cricket.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. See you all very soon.